Now here we go. We have Luke here. He's a big black lab. He's about 3 years old. The goals are socialization, maybe a little bit more appropriate on leash. He's very excitable, has lots of energy. We're gonna figure out ways to kind of piece his energy level a little bit. That way he's not as excitable. We're gonna socialize him to other dogs. But it all starts with a basic foundation of obedience and dog training. Right now, of course, you see me, I have a bait bag on right here. He's really on, if you could see that. He's really on. I got some food right here. He's on it. You have a dog that's very treat motivated, but yet we can't call them to us, or we can't get simple behaviors out of. But we don't always have to have a treat around or in our hand. If he thinks treat, you think of a dog as being selfish. This is a real dog here. And it's not just your dog. Every dog you come in contact with, for one, does not know English. Very selfish. They're opportunistic. They're scavengers. And this is what a real dog is. Your dog in particular. This is what they do. They always go through their mind constantly, all the time, what works. The dog is reinforced by pulling because it gets them somewhere. The dog is barking, whining at the door because the door opens after that. So we're going to work on basic obedience. I'm not too worried about a sit. It seems like he has a good sit. It's just his name. You know, his name's kind of weakened. And maybe it's because we keep using it and he's not doing the behavior we want. And the behavior we want is what? When we say Luke, what do we want to happen? We want him to look at us. So what happens is when we start saying Luke, it doesn't work. Luke, not working. Luke, Luke, Luke. Hey Luke, Lukey Luke. You know, so we're doing all these things and he still isn't paying any attention to us. So every time we say his name, that behavior weakens, that cue weakens. So we're going to say Luke one time and basically 0 distractions. And we're going to start right here. We're going to start strengthening and building off of this right now. And I'm going to just say his name. Now, there's dogs barking in the background. There's stuff happening. But it's little to 0 distraction right here. And we're going to build his name and a strength in that cue right here, right now. So, and I advise you to do some of these things in the house, in your yard. Have a leash. I usually have a 20-foot leash. When it gets to it, he'll be able to meander around some of this area over there by the fences and stuff with the 20-foot leash, and I'll be able to call him back to me at will. Not because I have treats, because he's thinking treats. Whether I have them or not is nothing. It's kind of irrelevant. But I want to program his mind as, oh, every time I come to him, good things happen. Not well. And this is what happens is. This is what breaking down from what I was heard or what I've talked to about Dave. What happens is just for instance that you go to work every week, you get paid. For 6 months you go to work, every week you get paid. Every week you get paid, you go to work, every week you get paid, every week, blah blah blah, and so on. What happens when you go to work and you don't get paid? Well, you'll probably do it again. You go to work and you don't get paid again. I'm going to try it again. I'm going to go to work and you still don't get paid. You're going to stop working. You're not going to work there anymore. That's what happens in dog behavior, dog learning. If it's not rewarded, reinforced, it goes into an extinction stage where the dog it's not worth going back. It's not worth going back to you after you call me. It's not worth it, because every time I come to you, I'm not being rewarded. I'm not being reinforced to do that. So eventually the dog's going to quit completely doing what we've been training it to do, because we're not rewarding, we're not reinforcing it even we don't have to do it every single time, but we have to put it in like a variable reinforcement, a reward every now and then. Even if it's a good job, buddy, good boy, even that, even though just simply that, raising our voices and making it a little bit more animated and happy of he just did the best thing in the world. And this is all basic foundation. This is all part of it. So we're gonna put them back on a regular schedule of reward / reinforcement. We're going to reward and reinforce everything. We're going to build up some of his cues here. We're going to do it from a distance. We're going to build up from that. And then other things will fall into place. Once he starts getting to the point where he's figuring out how to learn, then everything else will come into place. So here we go. So I used the clicker, by the way. So. Come on, Lukey Luke. Good boy, Bubba. Good. Luke. Good. So, I click, I mark. Good boy. The exact moment he looks at me. Luke. Good. All right. Luke. Good. So I say his name, he's turning his head to me. Luke, I say it one time. Now I'm going to show you at the end of this video exactly what I mean by he thinks he's going to get a treat. I'm putting it back on a regular schedule, reinforcement every time to build strength in his cue. Luke, good. Good boy. Luke, good. I got simple kibble here, dog food. Stuff you give them out the bowl twice a day. You can use these things in training. His own food. Luke, good. This is exactly what I want. Like I said, there's zero distraction here. I don't want to put him right beside the fence of dogs and expect him to do this right now. But this is the very first session. Eventually you'll see in the video, eventually we'll be right beside the dogs doing the same thing, but I have to slowly get there. Luke, good job. All right, man. I'm not asking him anything else in this one session. It's just that one thing, his name. Good boy. Good job. Luke, good. I don't have his head halter on either. I want him to make his own decisions. I don't have to be tugging him along. I don't want to have to fight with him. He's making his own decisions. He has all 6 feet of the leash, whatever he wants to do right now. When I call his name, what is he going to do? Luke, good. Luke, good boy, Bubba. Good boy. Uh-oh. There's no doubt about it. I love labs. They're always toy motivated. They're always treat motivated. They're always hyper and excited and love to play. These sets up great training motivators for any trainer. Luke, good boy. All right. So here we go. So I just did about 10 with the clicker, with the treat. I'm gonna throw that over there. I'm gonna do it twice without the clicker, without anything in my hand. But I'm gonna use a verbal praise. But I didn't get there. It's on the dog right now. So. Luke. Good boy, Bubba. Good job. All right, man. Luke. Good boy. So he's thinking treat. I'm reprogramming his mind eventually. Not right now. This is just to let you know we don't always have to have treats on us, but we need to every now and then to let him, to keep it, at a reinforcement, to keep rewarding it every now and then. Not expecting him to do it because we taught you to do it, and you're expected not to get paid for it. Luke, Good job, Bubba. Good boy. Good job. All right, good boy. All right.